Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the story of one of the most fascinating figures in Chinese history. A man who went from being a minor village official to the founder of a dynasty that lasted over 100 years. We're talking about Liu Bang, better known as Emperor Gaozu of the Han Dynasty. How did this commoner, known for his love of drink and dislike for farm work, managed to outwit and outfight powerful aristocrats and generals to become the son of heaven? His story is a classic underdog tale, full of drama, betrayal, and incredible strategic genius. It's a journey that proves sometimes the most unlikely person can change the course of history. So grab a seat and let's unravel the epic life of Liu Bang. Liu Bang was born in 56 BC in a place called Pei County. He wasn't born into royalty or a powerful family. He was just a regular guy, the son of farmers. As a young man, he wasn't exactly a model citizen. Historical records, written by people who weren't always his biggest fans, describe him as charismatic but also a bit lazy. He reportedly disliked manual labor and enjoyed drinking with his friends. But what he lacked in work ethic, he made up for in charm and an incredible ability to attract loyal followers. He had a natural magnetism that drew people to him. He served as a minor patrol officer in his hometown, a seemingly insignificant role, but it was here that he began to build his network of contacts and hone his leadership skills, which would soon be put to the ultimate test. The world Liu Bang lived in was on the brink of chaos. The mighty Qin Dynasty, famous for unifying China and building the Great Wall, was falling apart. The first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, was a powerful but brutal ruler. After his death, his son proved to be a weak and ineffective successor. The government was corrupt, the taxes were crippling, and the people were suffering under harsh laws. All across the empire, discontent was simmering. It was a powder keg waiting for a spark, and that spark came in the form of a massive rebellion. This was the Xiang uprising, led by two common soldiers. Although it was eventually crushed, it showed everyone that the Qin dynasty was vulnerable. The rebellion had begun, and ambitious men all over China saw their chance to rise. This is where Liu Bang's story really takes off. Tasked with escorting a group of prisoners to a construction site, he faced a huge problem. Several prisoners had escaped along the way. Under Qin law, this was a capital offense. Liu Bang knew he would be executed if he arrived with fewer prisoners than he started with. Faced with certain death, he made a bold decision. He gathered the remaining prisoners and cut their bonds, telling them they were free to go wherever they pleased. He told them he, too, would become a fugitive. But something amazing happened. A group of these men, moved by his act of mercy and charisma, decided to follow him. This small band of outlaws became the core of Liu Bang's future army. They hid in the nearby mountains, becoming a group of bandits with Liu Bang as their leader. Meanwhile, the rebellion against the Qin was growing larger. Warlords were carving out their own territories. One of the most prominent rebel leaders was an aristocrat from the former state of Chu named Xiang Yu. Liu Bang saw an opportunity. He and his followers came down from the mountains and joined the larger rebel movement. He quickly proved himself to be a capable commander. He wasn't necessarily the best military tactician himself, but his true genius was in recognizing and employing talented people. He surrounded himself with brilliant strategists like Zhang Liang and a master general like Han Xin. This ability to delegate and trust his subordinates was his greatest strength, and it stood in stark contrast to his main rival. And what a rival he was! Xiang Liang's nephew, Xiang Yu, was everything Liu Bang was not. He was a tall, powerful nobleman, a brilliant and utterly ferocious warrior who was undefeated on the battlefield. Xiang Yu was the quintessential aristocratic general, leading from the front and inspiring terror in his enemies. After his uncle's death, Xiang Yu became the de facto leader of the rebel forces. He and Liu Bang formed a fragile alliance, united by their common goal of overthrowing the Qin. The rebel leaders made a pact. Whoever captured the Qin capital of Xianyang first would be crowned king of that region. Everyone, including Xiang Yu, assumed it would be him. He was busy fighting the main Qin army in the north in a series of brutal, large-scale battles. This left the path to the capital relatively open for Liu Bang. While Xiang Yu was locked in bloody combat, Liu Bang took a more strategic, less direct route. He didn't seek out massive confrontations. Instead, he used diplomacy, persuasion, and clever maneuvers to win over territories with minimal bloodshed. He was known for being lenient with the cities that surrendered to him. In 206 BC, in a move that stunned everyone, Liu Bang's army marched into the Qin capital of Xianyang. The last Qin emperor surrendered to him without a fight. True to his character, Liu Bang was remarkably merciful. He abolished the harsh Qin laws and assured the population that they would be safe. He had won the race. According to the agreement, he was the new king. But Xiang Yu was not happy. Not at all. After destroying the main Qin army, he marched towards the capital with a massive, battle-hardened force of 400,000 soldiers. Despite sparing Liu Bang's life, Xiang Yu politically outmaneuvered him. He ignored the previous agreement and, using his immense power, declared himself the hegemon king of Western Chu. He then divided the former Qin Empire into 18 kingdoms, handing them out to various generals. He gave Liu Bang a small, remote, and difficult-to-access territory in the Hanzhong region, naming him the King of Han. It was essentially an exile. Xiang Yu clearly hoped that Liu Bang would be trapped in the mountains and fade into obscurity. But he had underestimated Liu Bang's ambition and the loyalty of his men. While pretending to accept his fate, Liu Bang and his followers were already planning their return. This began the legendary Chu-Han Contention, a brutal 4-year war between Liu Bang and Xiang Yu for control of China. At first, Xiang Yu had every advantage: a large army, superior military prowess, and a fearsome reputation. He repeatedly defeated Liu Bang on the battlefield. But Liu Bang was like a punching bag that just wouldn't stay down. He would lose a battle, retreat, regroup, and come back fighting. His ability to delegate was key. While he secured the home front and kept supply lines running, his brilliant General Han Xin was conquering kingdoms in the north, expanding their territory and encircling Xiang Yu. Liu Bang was losing battles, but he was winning the war. Xiang Yu, on the other hand, was arrogant and overly suspicious. He failed to listen to his best advisor and drove away talented men, some of whom defected to Liu Bang. The final showdown came at the Battle of Gaixia in 200 BC. By this point, the tables had turned. Liu Bang's forces, bolstered by Han Xin and other allies, had Xiang Yu's army completely surrounded. In a brilliant move of psychological warfare, Liu Bang had his troops sing songs from Xiang Yu's home state of Chu all through the night. When Xiang Yu and his soldiers heard the songs of their homeland coming from every direction, they believed their state had already been conquered and their families captured. Their morale shattered completely. Xiang Yu made one last desperate breakout with a small cavalry force, but he was relentlessly pursued. Trapped and with no hope of escape, the proud warrior took his own life on the banks of the Wu River. The war was over. Liu Bang was the undisputed master of China. In that same year, 200 to BC, Liu Bang declared himself emperor and established the Han Dynasty, which would become a golden age in Chinese history. As Emperor Gaozu, he proved to be a pragmatic and effective ruler. He learned from the Qin's mistakes. He reduced taxes, promoted agriculture, and repealed the harshest laws. He adopted a philosophy of governing that was less about rigid control and more about letting the people recover from years of war. He rewarded his loyal followers with titles and land, establishing a new nobility. He wasn't a perfect ruler, he was still suspicious, and had some of his most capable generals, like Han Xin, executed out of fear of their power. But his policies laid a strong foundation for a dynasty that would last for centuries and shape Chinese culture forever. His story is the ultimate proof that you don't need a noble birth to achieve greatness. All you need is charisma, an eye for a talent, and an unbreakable will to win. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of Emperor Gaozu, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from history. Let me know in the comments who you'd like to see covered next. See you in the next video.